Today, I want to talk about a 4-letter word that's thrown around a lot. D-I-E-T. Diet. How does that word make you feel? Let's talk about it today on Lightly Salted.
Welcome to Lightly Salted. Now let's join your host, Debbie Harmon, for today's podcast.
I confess I am not a good, air quote, dieter. When I was in college, I did the cabbage soup diet. I hated it. I was starving all the time. Then I would reward myself and eat a candy bar. I did lose weight, but I was literally starving myself. While I got very thin, my body was not getting nourished. There's nothing wrong with eating cabbage soup, and I love cabbage, but this starvation diet was not balanced. I remember a very popular fad diet in the 70s and 80s that my parents did. I don't remember all the things you had to eat. It was like a 3-day diet, but I do remember that you had hot dogs, a can of tuna, and cottage cheese on the list. Thought that was rather gross. During my lifetime, I have tried all kinds of diets. What I've come to realize is that if I don't like the food on the diet, I won't stick with it. I also don't like to feel hungry. I get hangry. This causes me to toss the diet foods and grab something unhealthy. Another thing I've made peace with is the fact that I won't give up certain foods until I'm ready to do so. It's as if my body's screaming, nope, not going to do that. Willpower is difficult to muster up. My appetite self-control seems to control me. It seems like each year there's a new diet that's all the rage. One year it's about cutting carbs, and then it's cutting dairy, then it's limiting meat or eliminating it altogether. Soon your head starts spinning from all the do's and don'ts of dieting. I personally think that we need to be mindful of what we consume, and the less processed it is, the better. And don't get me started on water. This water's better than that water. Drink this, don't drink that. It's maddening. And I'm not saying that there's certain waters that are better than others. Just trying to figure it out can make you go hangry. I think we need to look at the word diet in a different light. We need to realize that what we put into our bodies can either bring life and health or disease and death. One of the definitions in the Webster's Dictionary for the word diet is habitual nourishment. The food we eat is fuel. Now, I want to point out that I am not a nutritionist or a medical professional in any capacity. And I am also not an advocate for any eating plan or diet. And most importantly, I am not telling you what you should or you should not eat. I'm just challenging your perception of food and nutrition. I want to encourage you to go out and do your own research. I think you should try and see what works best for you to get you to your optimal self. We need food to survive. We need enough water to hydrate our bodies. Our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. Think about that when you are consuming food. What you put into your body will either contribute to your health or be detrimental. In order to live up to your full potential, you need to treat your body with respect. Love your body. Feed it those life-giving foods. I know for me that food can determine my mood. Certain things I eat make me depressed. I know that when my blood sugar spikes and then drops, I feel lethargic and grumpy. At that point, I'm not good to anyone. I also make bad food choices in those moments. I try to keep my blood sugar levels stabilized as much as possible. If you fill up your car at a gas station, you have several options as to what kind of gas to purchase. A gallon of gas will allow you to drive your car so many miles, but not all gas is equal. Some gas has additives that either harm your engine or make it run to its optimal level. You can choose which gas you put in your car. Both gallons of gas will get you to where you need to go, but one is far superior to your car's performance, extending the life of your car. Food is the same way. A calorie is a unit of energy, but not all calories are created equal, nor do they fuel your body the same way. 1 calorie from a certain food may make you function better than a wasted empty calorie. I encourage you to do your research. Another thing I've noticed about my diet or dieting is that some diets work great for some people and some diets work great for others. There are thousands of books on which diet is the best. I own many of them myself. I've tried them out and know which ones I can live with and which ones I cannot. I want to change your concept of this word diet. It isn't just a fad, a quick way to lose weight, because once you reach your desired weight, you tend to jump off this diet and return to your previous eating habits. This is terrible for your body. We view the word diet to mean temporary, a means to an end, when in fact the true meaning of the word diet should be an eating lifestyle. Food is essential to function. Like I said, it's our fuel. Certain foods have healing properties. Food can make our body strong and healthy or weaken us. I also think food should be enjoyed and tasted. Savor every bite. It's a great way to fellowship with others. A meal brings you together for wonderful conversation. Dining should be an experience, not just scarfing something down so you can get to the next thing. Food is your diet. What you eat determines how you feel. You should find a healthy way to enjoy your food. Pay attention to how you feel when you eat something. Your body has a way of letting you know what it needs and what it doesn't. Bad cravings are not your friend. Eat as much natural foods as possible and avoid processed food when you can. Don't stress over it. Give your body what it needs to be the best it can be so that you can be the best you can be. We can also teach our bodies what they need. You can train your body to crave healthy foods by giving it healthy choices. Don't starve yourself by neglecting to eat nutritious foods. However, I do think occasional fasting is great for detoxing, but don't live on a nutritionally depriving diet. God has created so many delicious tasting foods. Some of my favorite foods are those that God created, not man created. I often hear people say that it is more expensive to eat healthy foods than it is to eat non-healthy foods. Is that really true? If you factor in what these junk foods do to your body and the long-term effects, which in turn have medical expenses attached, is it really cheaper? I love preparing my own food because I know what's in it. I prefer to eat from home rather than go out to dinner. I just like the way I cook. I don't enjoy the cleanup process. I told my husband, I'm sorry the kitchen stays messy, but that's just a side effect of me cooking from home. I can't seem to get my dishes out of the sink. I'm constantly filling up the dishwasher, only to find the sink full from the last meal I prepared. I love eating tasty foods, and I don't skimp on seasonings. Garlic is one of my top favorites. I think garlic goes in everything, unless it's sweet. Learn what foods work for you and which ones don't. Start becoming a chef in your own kitchen. Experiment. Sometimes a meal doesn't turn out right, but most of the time I create a new recipe that's awesome. It's just trial and error. The not-so-great meals teach you what to do differently next time. Find healthy ways to enjoy the foods you love. Be in control of what you put in your mouth. Food can give life or bring death. Nourish your body. Paul says that he buffets his body. He makes it his slave. You too can train your body to want the foods that are good for it. I challenge you to give it a try. I know for myself, I have to take baby steps, making simple, easy changes. I have a hard time cutting out everything at once. Start simple. Pick one food that you eat that you know is not healthy for your body. Try to find a way to make it healthier by substituting some of its ingredients for healthier ones. I sometimes add cauliflower to my mashed potatoes. They taste great, but they're lower in calories and starches. However, if there's not a healthy alternative, try removing that food from your diet completely and replace it with something that is good for you. Do this for a month. After this month, you may discover that you no longer like this unhealthy food. You may find it doesn't bring you the same enjoyment that it once did. Sometimes I think we get too caught up in what we eat or we don't eat. Jesus even warns us about this. Look at what he says in Matthew 6:25. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you eat or drink, or about the body, what you will wear. Is life not more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Our bodies are made up of many parts, and all are equally important. Look what is written in 1 Corinthians 12:12. Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all of its many parts forms one body, so it is with Christ. It is important to consider that our diet doesn't just consist of food and water. What we feast on visually or listen to through our ears is feeding our souls. Whatever you watch or listen to impacts your mind. They alter your perception of the world. Everything that we take in through one of our senses affects the body in a positive or negative way. When you watch a sad movie, how do you feel? What about when you see a tragic news story? How about when you listen to an uplifting podcast? Pay attention to what you watch and listen to. They do cause your body to react. Do you ever watch a TV show and find yourself becoming jealous? Do you know that this has an impact on your physical body? Listen to what is written in Proverbs 10:30. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. I suggest you listen to those programs that will help you have a heart at peace and not the ones that will cause you to have envy. Listen to life-giving words. Nourish your soul with those things that bring life. God not only provides us with life-giving food to feed and heal our bodies, He also supplies us with spiritual nourishment through His Word. In Matthew 4:4, Jesus says, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Jesus is quoting the scriptures found in Deuteronomy 8:3. In Psalm 34:8, King David encourages us to taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in Him. Jesus tells us in John 6:35, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." In John 4, we are introduced to a Samaritan woman who comes to draw some water from a well. This lady encounters Jesus. In this chapter of John, there are many amazing lessons that we can glean from it. I encourage you to read the whole passage. But I want to point out just one thing. Jesus asks this woman to give him some water to drink. The woman is perplexed because at the time, the Samaritans were not considered favorable by the Jews. So for this Hebrew, Jesus, to ask her for water was unusual. She even mentions this to him. In John 4:13, Jesus replies to her and says, "Whoever drinks this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give him will never thirst. But the water that I shall give him will become a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." This is from the New King James Version. Do you hunger and thirst for the Word of God? See what Jesus says in Matthew 5:6. "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." Hunger and thirst for the Lord and His Word. Seek Him first, then you will be filled with His radiance and glory. Are you enjoying the nourishment found in the Bible? I encourage you to feed your spiritual side every day by reading His Word. Make sure you are feasting upon those things that bring life to both your body and your soul. This is part of your daily diet. I hope you will begin today making the necessary changes that will bring you both physical and spiritual health and wholeness. Please share this podcast with someone who you think will benefit from this message. Until next time, as you feast on nourishing foods, stay lightly salted.
This podcast is the opinion of Debbie Harmon and is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing is intended as medical, professional, psychological, theological, or any other professional advice. If you would like to see more of Debbie's products, visit her website at www.entertainmentwithamessage.com or www.ewamtv.com. This podcast is copyright protected and cannot be reused without written permission from its owner, Debbie Harmon. Please invite your friends to listen to this podcast. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Thank you for listening to Lightly Salted.